Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Talk. That's right, I'm your host. Actually, no. I am your host, but it's not just Coffee Talk, okay? Welcome to Tia Tuesdays. Yes, this is the very first, the inaugural Coffee Talk or Tia Tuesday. For those of you who join us, like Iris and Tarina out west, hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for hopping on. So Fridays, I do Fizz Fridays. I'm going to sit and talk to you about Di Serono. We have our Fizz, and we do some other fun stuff. I hope you can hear me. I'm actually outside on my balcony tonight because it's just so freaking mild. It's fantastic. It's like butter out here. I'm almost verklempt. I might have to give you a topic. We'll see. I'm okay. Okay. All right. Now, sorry about the lighting too, because, hey, it's winter, so we don't always get, sunshine until after 6 o'clock. I hate this time of year. No, anyway. All right, guys. So thanks so much for joining us. It's Tia Tuesday time. So just like every Friday on Fizz Fridays, I'm going to come talk to you about that. We're going to have a cocktail. Now Tia Tuesdays. We're going to talk about Tia Maria on Tuesdays. So for those of you who don't know much about Tia, and I know most of you, well, thanks, Chris. I do have a face for radio, so, for those of you, if you can't see it, Chris just said I have a great complexion in low lighting. That's right. You keep me in the dark, I look better. I'm kind of like a mushroom that way. Keep me in the dark and feed me shit. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about Tia Maria. Now, I know that those of you who are watching today, you know Tia Maria because I've talked to you about it. Tarina, you work with it. Mr. Kevin Brosh, good to see you, sir. Welcome to Tia Tuesdays. All right. And you know what? I'm just going to dive right in, and I'm going to sip while I talk because, frankly, I need the caffeine. There was a certain rascally four-legged roommate of mine who kept me up most of the night, so today was kind of a wash. Krisa. Yasu. So our Greek brand ambassador for Tia Maria and Di Serono just showed up. How you doing, love? Good to see you. Cheers to everybody. This is a little bit of Tia Maria. So for those who don't know, again, drink the whole bottle. I will, Kevin, just not all at once. Cold brew coffee liqueur. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. Goes back to the late 1600s. Oh, yeah. The island of Jamaica. A young lady was forced to flee her family plantation because of the colonial turmoil there. And she took with her a pair of black pearl earrings. Stop interrupting. Yes, a pair of black pearl earrings. The recipe for, this fabulous liqueur, and some clothing that was packed for her by her nanny. Her nanny was also her aunt, and in Spanish, aunt is Tia, or Zia in Italian. Therefore, the aunt's name was, that's right, Maria. You guessed it. And everybody seems to get this right, which I love. Let's fast forward to the late 1930s, early 1940s, where there weren't buses driving by all the time. Still on the island of Jamaica, we had Dr. Kenneth Lee Evans, a microbiologist. He loved having cocktail parties, hosting people, and there was a lady named Nancy who came to one of his parties wearing a pair of black pearl earrings. Can you see where this is going? I think you can. That's right. She had this recipe that had been passed down in her family for generations. I think it was like 9 greats before the word grandmother it came from. So they made it, and he loved it, and Tia Maria was born. Let's skip ahead to 1983 to Soho, London, England. Not the other Soho, the one in Manhattan, which is, frankly, my preferred Soho. But Soho, London, England, 1983. Young lady walked up to the bartender who was working beside the espresso machine, and she said, and I pardon my language, for those of you with sensitive ears out there, Krisa, she said, I want a drink, and Kevin, I want a drink that will wake me up and fuck me up. And thus the espresso martini was born. So we've got our Tia Maria here. There are 3 primary components to Tia Maria. Actually, let's make that 4 by adding in a fire truck. And I'm kind of curious to know if my dog is about to start howling. I left him inside, so I won't hear it, but I'm sure we'll be told. 3 main components to Tia Maria. We have our overproof Jamaican rum. We have Madagascar vanilla that we get fresh, and we process through a 4-phase transformation process to get our vanilla notes, which is where Tia Maria gets a lot of its sweetness from. And then we've got our 100% cold brew Arabica coffee. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And you're cut off. No, I'm just kidding, dude. You and I need to do drinks sometime soon on a patio since we can't do it indoors because Toronto sucks. Anyway, our coffee, 100% Arabica. Why Arabica? Because of where it grows. It grows at a higher elevation above sea level, 800 to 1,200 feet above sea level. What does that mean? Less disease on the trees, less bugs, less pests, less chemicals. You get a better tasting bean that way. We take our green coffee beans, slow roast them at 200 degrees. Hey, Jazzy. And then we cold brew them for 72 hours in a hydroalcoholic solution. What is a hydroalcoholic solution? It's a fancy word for something that's half water and half neutral spirit. Read vodka. No, not technically vodka. It's a neutral spirit. So we soak our beans cold brewed for, like I said, 72 hours. That extracts all of those complex coffee notes and just the right level of acidity to get the best coffee notes possible for our Tia Maria. So tasty. Smooth coffee, vanilla. It's fantastic stuff. Not gonna lie, between the two, between Di Serono and Tia Maria, there are times when I prefer Tia Maria just to sit and sip over ice. Speaking of over ice, I have my 27.5 ice cubes. That's right. I know that's normally for Fridays. Whatever. Why? I might just make a cocktail. Because I never just talk about one thing here, because it's the point. Let's hang out, let's have a cocktail, let's drink and be social, and have some fun with it, because, life is still pretty meh in 2020. So, you've heard me talk about bourbon, vodka. I've had multiple people on talking about scotch. I'm working on getting Meg, the Jägermeister herself, on cam and to chat about Jägermeister and Jaeger's new thing, which is Jaeger Cold Brew. And we're going to do a comparison between Jaeger Cold Brew, Tia Maria, and we're just going to have a really good time with it because Meg is absolutely hilarious and she's an absolute darling. Love her to bits. But what I haven't really talked about much is the other member of the whiskey family, and that is rye whiskey, Canadian whiskey, call it what you will. What's the difference? Rye whiskey, just like bourbon, has to be minimum 51%. We have fantastic Canadian-made rye whiskeys out there like Lot 40, which is a 100% rye grain whiskey, longtime favorite. But tonight I'm talking about this bad boy right here, Gibson's Finest Bold 8-year. 8 years in barrel, minimum. This stuff is absolutely delicious. Lots of vanilla, some good rye spice, toasted apple notes. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. Listen to me talk about it as I drink it. Hey, Pops. How you doing? Thanks for hopping on to my first Tia Tuesday. So, there we go. Gibson's Finest Bold. 8-year Canadian whiskey. We're not going to call this a rye whiskey. This is a blend of rye and other grains. And I'm going to see what I can do about getting our brand ambassador for that. His name is Josh Groom. Absolutely fantastic gentleman. Hilarious. Avid golfer. And just all-around fun guy to hang out and drink with. Right, Kevin? You know who I'm talking about. Anyway. Oh, yes. I cannot remember, Chris, what the percentage, what the exact mash bill is on Gibson's Bold. I'll find out and let you know. Thanks for asking. I just got a little bit distracted today by some other stuff, and like I said, little dopey because the dog had me up most of the night. Wasn't able to get that information in time. Hey, Andrew, thanks for joining, buddy. Cheers to Tia Tuesday. My sister's here. Wow, it's just a good old-fashioned hangout with people. I love it. Sipping a little Tia, but now I'm going to go back to my Gibson's 8-year Bold. Oh, yeah. Dry. That rye spice just gives it a really, really nice, clean finish. vanilla, some good fruit notes in there. Apple, stone fruit, apricots. Yes. Now, I'm going to make a cocktail, and like I said, I have my 27.5 ice cubes, but I forgot the right glass because I always forget one thing. Doesn't matter. Chris knows this from when I used to do cocktail competitions. I would always forget one thing, an ingredient, a bitters, a tool, a spoon, something. You go through your checklist 100 times, you're like, I've got it nailed. But apparently the fire trucks decided to distract me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to leave you to go get the glass. So tonight, I'm going to make the cocktail in the wrong glass. Don't at me, Chris, Kevin, anybody. Okay? So, I'm using a plastic wine glass. Just easiest way to carry 27.5 ice cubes, really. So what am I going to make? We're going to make one of my favorite whiskey cocktails of late. Pausing for that delicious Gibson's bowl. Sorry. A little commercial there. And going to raise a glass to one Mr. Alex Trebek. Rocks. My able-bodied assistant is fetching me the right glassware. So, hey, if that's Deny, is that Deny or Tony? Doesn't matter. Hey to both of you guys. Look at that. Right. Grazie. There we go. Look at that.